Hey everyone, welcome to Code with Wasiu. Today we are looking at one of the most important concepts in C Sharp, interfaces. I'll explain what they are, why developers use them, and I'll also show you a real world example using a payment system so everything makes sense. Let's get started. An interface in C Sharp is a concept that defines what method a class or struct must implement without containing any implementation details. In other words, an interface tells a class what to do without specifying how to do it. This helps enforce consistency across different implementations. It also supports abstraction and loose coupling, meaning you can change an implementation later without hurting the rest of your code. Here is a real world example. Imagine you are building a payment system. Today, the business uses PayPal. Next month, you might need to switch to Stripe or Flutterwave or any other payment provider. Without interface, you'd have to write your checkout code each time your payment provider is changed. But with an interface, you only need to ensure your new class implements your existing interface, while your main checkout code doesn't have to change. Here's what happens when you don't use an interface. Imagine your checkout class depending directly on PayPal. If tomorrow you decide to change from PayPal to Stripe, you would have to go back to your checkout service to rewrite the code and change the PayPal gateway to Stripe gateway. This is tightly coupled and hard to maintain, and it also violates a good design principle like solid. Now compare that with this. Here we have an interface called iPayment Gateway. An interface usually has the keyword interface, and it usually starts with the letter I. We have two concrete classes here, PayPal Gateway and Stripe Gateway. They both implement the iPayment Gateway. The two classes have their own versions of the charge method. So with this, our checkout service does not need to depend directly on PayPal or Stripe. It needs to depend on the contracts we have here, which is the iPayment gateway. So in the future, if you decide to add another payment provider, such as InterSwitch, all you need to do is create the concrete class of the InterSwitch, then make sure it implements the iPayment gateway. This right here is how we switch between providers with the help of an interface. We don't have to edit our checkout service each time we want to switch between providers. All we need to do is to pass the correct instance of the payment provider we want to use to the checkout service and let our contract handle it from there. This approach is very powerful. It is testable, clean, scalable, and maintainable. It follows the solid principle, especially the open and close principle. And this right here is possible through the help of dependency injection. The next video will be about dependency injection. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.